What's up, y'all? We're back at it again with another Warhammer 40k 10th edition index review here on Theory Hammer. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, leave a comment, do all that YouTube stuff. But most importantly, check out our other videos. We have a whole bunch of different Warhammer stuff out there, and we release content pretty regularly. So today, we're going to be going into the Grey Knights. We're going to be teleporting right on in with the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights are pretty awesome, and we're going to go over their index today. I've read this. We're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to have a discussion. It's a thing. So, we're just going to start. Alright, this is their army rule. They have teleport assault. Basically, what this does, if your faction's Grey Knights, at the end of your opponent's turn, you can select a number of units from your army with this ability, not within engagement range, and that's as follows. So in a strike force, it's going to be three different units that you can pick. Once you've made your selections, remove those units from the battlefield. In the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, set up each of those units on the battlefield anywhere that's more than 9 inches away from any enemy models, and then if they're not on the battlefield by the end of the game, you're destroyed. So basically the way this works is you pick 3 units, you pick them up and put them into strategic reserve, and then, yeah, in the movement phase, you do the thing. The key here is that this is a must. In the reinforcement step of your next movement phase, set those units up. It's not just some other time, it has to be in the next turn. So, that's what you got. Then you have your detachment rule. This is teleport strike force? Yeah, okay. So teleport shunt, this is what you get. Each time a Grey Knight unit with the deep strike ability advances, you don't make an advance roll. Instead, you just add 6 to the roll, and you get to fly. So, kinda shit. Cool. It's cool, but it's kinda shit. You don't get to charge after this. There's nothing in the army that lets you charge, except for one unit that just has it innately, but it's cool. It's what you got. There's going to be some better stuff that happens when they actually get a codex. Who knows when that's going to be, but that's what you got for now. If you're going to play the Grey Knights, these are the stratagems that you're going to get. You have Radiant Strike. This is 2 CP. It's a battle tactics. So it's a fight phase strat that targets a Psyker unit specifically. Until the end of the phase, melee weapons gain devastating wounds if they're psychic, which they all are. Prognosticated Arrival. This happens in your movement phase. It's 1 CP. It's an epic deed. 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that is arriving using the Deep Strike or Teleport Assault abilities this phase. The effect is that your unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. Pretty good, actually. You can come down, maybe snipe a character or something with that. Kind of cool. The restrictions is that a unit is not eligible to charge if they do this, which is kind of an obvious restriction there. Death from the Warp. This is 1 CP, Battle Tactics. This is your movement phase, 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that either advance this turn or deep struck this turn, using Teleport Assault. Until the end of the turn, your ranged weapons have Assault, and each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. That's the other thing, is most of your army doesn't have Assault weapons, so when you auto-advance 6 inches, does it give you Assault? Did I miss that? Maybe it gives you Assault? No, it doesn't even give you Assault. You just auto-move. Okay, yeah, so this is the only way to get Assault after auto-advancing 6. Costs you a CP to do it, but you also add 1 to the hit roll. So, whatever. We're going to see why this is completely useless pretty soon. Haloed and Soulfire, this is 2 CP, Strategic Ploy. This happens in your movement phase, and 1 Grey Knight Psyker unit from your army that is arriving using the Deep Strike or Teleport Assault abilities this phase. The effect is that until the start of your next movement phase, your unit cannot be targeted by ranged attacks unless you're, within 12. So they get blown up, basically, on a unit that deep struck. So Mist of Demios, this is pretty good. This is probably the best one you got. This happens in your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move. You target a Psyker unit that's within 9 of the enemy unit, and then that unit can move up to 6 inches if it were your movement phase, or, if it has a Deep Strike ability, it can be placed into strategic reserves. So all of your Terminators and most of your army just gets picked up and put back into strategic reserves. You move near me, zoop, I'm out of there. So that's pretty good, actually. This restriction is that you cannot select a unit that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemies. And then the last one here is a War Gear strat for 1 CP. It is the truest silver armor. It's Armor of Contempt. So you subtract the armor penetration by 1, you do it in your opponent's shooting or fight phase just after you're targeted. Yeah, you guys know what that does, I think. And that's what your stratagems are. So there's 1 good one, not 2 good ones, 3 good ones, 4 good ones, 5 good ones. They're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. The problem is that the army sucks. If you're using the Teleport Strike Force Detachment rule, these are your enhancements. First to the fray, Grey Knight's model with Deep Strike only. The Bear's unit must start in reserve, but neither it nor any transporters embarked with him count as any limits toward the mission, and you can put them in strategic reserve and all that stuff. This unit can be set up using its Deep Strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. So it can come down turn 1 if you need it to. It can rapid ingress turn 1 if you need it to. It can do some cool stuff if you need it to. So that's a good one. Domina Libera Demonica. This is Grey Knight's model only. Each time the bearer makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll, and if the attack targets a demon, add 1 to the damage characteristic as well. Okay. I actually just realized, nope, never mind. Sigil of Excellence. Grey Knight's model only and once per battle. In your opponent's shooting phase, when the bear's unit is selected as a target of a ranged attack, you can remove the bear's unit from the battlefield and then set it back up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away horizontally from all enemy models. If the bearer is no longer an eligible target, your opponent can select a new target for those attacks. Okay. Last one is Inescapable Wrath. This is for a Grey Knight's model only. You add 1 to the charge rolls made for that unit. Alright, so basically, the Domina Libera Demonica is complete shit. The other 3 are good. Good enough. Yeah, they're good enough. John B. Good enough. Oh, look at that awesome picture with a big book right in the way. What a piece of shit. Okay. Kaldor Drago. He's the first data sheet we're going to look at today. He moves 5, he's toughness 5, he's got a 2-up save and a whole 7 wounds, so he's pretty chunky. Leadership 6, OC 1, 4-up invulnerable save, and then he has Scourging. That's going to be Anti-Demon 2+, ignores cover, and Psychic. 18-inch range, 3 shots, everything's hitting on 2s. Strength 6, AP 2, and damage 2. Then he's got a Storm Bolter, nothing great. It's Rapid Fire 2 with 2 shots, so you get 4 shots with it within 12 inches because it's got a 24-inch range. Strength 4, AP 0, and 1 damage. So it's an anti-infantry weapon. It's not going to do a whole lot against, Marines or anything equivalent, or however better than that. Melee weapons, he has the Titan Sword. This is Anti-Demonic 2+, or Anti-Demon 2+, and Psychic. So 6 attacks, hitting on 2, Strength 8, AP 4, damage 3. He has Deep Strike, he has Leader, he has Teleport Assault, he has Untouchable Purity while he's leading a unit. Models in that unit have a Field of Pain 4+ against mortal wounds. Kind of dog shit now, because mortal wounds are basically non-existent. And then you got 1 with the Warp. This is Psychic, once per battle. When this model's unit declares a charge, in the same turn it was set up as in the reinforcement as Deep Striking. If it Deep Strike, you get +3 to your charge roll. That's what he gets. That is his once per battle Psychic power. What a... oh, God. Okay. Kaldor Drago, you're in the Warp fighting demons, and this is what they did to you. You came back a bitch. Okay, so Drago comes with his Scourging, Stormbolter, and Titan Sword. He can be attached to Paladins or Terminators, and he must be your Warlord if you take him in your army. He is an infantry character, epic hero, Psyker, Terminator. He does have grenades. Where are the grenades? I don't... oh, there it is, right there. That's the grenade. He's got grenades. Imperium and, himself. Voldus is next. He moves 5. He's toughness 5 with a 2+ save and a 4-up invuln. He has 6 wounds, and he's leadership 6 and OC 1. He looks really cool. He's got a Storm Bolter. We just went over that. He has the Malleus Argurum. Argurum? Yep, we're going with that. That's got 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 10, AP 2, and damage 3. No devastating wounds. What a disappointment. He has Deep Strike and Leader, and then Teleport Assault. Sanctuary is his power. While he's leading a unit, each time an attack targets that unit, so that's any attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And then Hammer of Flame, Psychic. Each time this model's unit is selected to fight, you can select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of this model and roll 1d6, adding 2 to the result if it's a demon. On a 4 to 5, you suffer D3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, you suffer D3 plus 3. So that's pretty interesting. Alright, Master McVoldus here. He has a Stormbolter and a Malleus. Yeah. He can be attached to Terminators or Paladins. He is also an infantry character, epic hero, Psyker, Terminator, Imperium. He doesn't have grenades, though. He's a bitch. They don't have any options, either. None of these named characters ever have any options, because they're named characters. So, anyway, that's going to do it for him. Next, you got the Grand Master, who is pretty damn good. He moves 5, he's toughness 5 with a 2-up save, and 7 wounds, leadership 6, and OC of 1. He can take an Incinerator, which is ignores cover and torrent, so it's a flamer. 12-inch range, d6 shots, as you'd expect with a flamer there. Strength 6, AP 1, damage 1, so pretty strong flamer. Silencer, that's psychic and sustained hits 1, 24-inch range, 6 shots. Everything is going to be hitting on 2s, shooting, combat, all of it. The Silencer, this profile is going to be the same across the index, so is the Side Cannon, so is the Stormbolter. They're just going to be different in terms of their ballistic skill, so I'm probably going to gloss over those a lot, and that'll actually help get through this a lot quicker. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do. The Silencer is 6 shots at 24 inches with sustained hits 1. Strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. Not the worst weapon with sustained hits 1. It's just, you know, AP 0, it just isn't great. It's better than a Stormbolter, we'll put it that way. The Side Cannon, that is psychic, 24-inch range with 3 shots, strength 8, only AP 1, and damage 2. Then you got your Stormbolter. We know that already. It's 2 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1, 24-inch range, and rapid fire 2. So you get 4 shots with a Stormbolter if you're within 12. And then you got your Nemesis Force Weapon. This also is exactly the same across the entire index, so I'm going to skip it every time. It's got, the attacks will change, the weapon skill will change, and I'll mention that. But otherwise, the profile, the strength, the AP, the damage, will always be strength 6, AP 2, and flat 2 damage. And psychic. It's a psychic weapon. These guys have deep strike, and they have a leader, so they can lead a unit. They have teleport, assault, and then might of purity, so this is pretty good. While this model is leading a unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the characteristics of models in that unit and to any rolls or tests made for models in that unit, excluding modifiers to saving throws. So any modifiers to any characteristic that they have, they just fucking ignore it. That's awesome. Master Strategist, once per battle. What? Yeah, I forgot that this was bad. So, unlike the regular Space Marine character, the captain guy, who can let you use the stratagem once per battle round, I think they forgot the word round here. This guy's once per battle. One unit from your army with this ability can be targeted by a stratagem for 0 CP, even if another unit from your army has already been targeted by that stratagem this phase. He's got a 4-up invuln with 7 wounds, so he's basically Drago's profile. He just is way better than Drago and his abilities here. Even the once per battle, that can be pretty huge on some of these strats. He does have some options. So he comes with a Stormbolter and a Nemesis Force Weapon. He can be attached to Brotherhood Terminators or Paladins. And he can take either an Incinerator, a Silencer, or a Side Cannon instead of his Stormbolter, which you're going to do one of those 3 every single time. I mean, literally any one of them is better. He's Infantry Character Psyker with Grenades and Terminator Imperium. Next, you have the Grandmaster in the Nemesis Baby Carrier. This is going to be move 8, toughness 8, 2-up save, 13 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 4. I forgot how mid this thing's profile was. It's okay. It's got a 4-up invuln. Got a Gatling Silencer. This is one of its options. So the way that this works is you take 2 weapons here. You just can't take the same one twice, and then you take 1 combat weapon. You either have a Gatling Silencer as a ranged weapon, Psychic, sustained hits 1, so the same as the regular Silencer. Range is 24, attacks is 12, so it's double the shots. Its strength is 6, so it's a little bit stronger, but it's still AP 0 and only damage 1, and it, for some reason, hits on 3s. Heavy Incinerator, again, that ignores cover and torrent. This is an 18-inch range weapon. This is 2d6 shots, strength 6, AP 0, I'm sorry, AP 1, I was looking at the one above it. Strength 6, AP 0, damage 1, 2d6 shots, 18-inch range, not bad, not great. The Heavy Side Cannon's next, that's Psychic and 24-inch range, 6 shots at Ballistic Skill 3, Strength 10, AP 1, and damage 3. So, a little bit better than an autocannon. It's honestly the best weapon that they have in the entire army, is the Heavy Side Cannon, and it's, I mean, read it. It's a 24-inch range weapon with 6 shots that's Strength 10, AP 1, and damage 3. I'm not fucking kidding. That is the best weapon in this army. You can make an argument for the Dread Fist or whatever this thing is, the Great Hammer. It hitting on 4s, though, is a fucking travesty. So let's go over his melee weapons. He's got a Dread Fist. These are terrible. You have 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, Strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. Give me a fucking break. And next, we have the Nemesis Great Hammer. This is 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 14, AP 3, damage D6 plus 1. So that's pretty good. Your problem there being an odd amount of attacks. Like, just give it 6 attacks hitting on 4s. Give me a consistent 3 hits instead of 2.5, which is going to swing weird. And I don't like that shit. So, Nemesis Great Sword, you can also have this one, which is probably the best. Maybe? I don't know. It's either this or the hammer. This has 2 different profiles. It's either got 5 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 10, AP 2, damage D6, or it has 10 attacks hitting on 3s, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. What a fall from grace. Deadly Demise D3 and Deep Strike. It also has Teleport, Assault, and then Surge of Wrath. This is its psychic. Once per battle round in the fight phase, one model from your army with this ability can use it before resolving its attacks, and if it does, until the end of the phase, each time that model makes an attack that targets a monster or a vehicle, you can reroll the hit, the wound, and the damage roll. And then it has Heroism's Favor. Each time you target this model with a stratagem, it only costs 1 CP, so that's pretty good. You can give it Dev Wounds for 1 CP. I think you can use Halo and Soulfire, I think was 2 CP, so that's 1. It's pretty good. It's just... I hate its melee so much. This thing is actually usable now, with the points update, in my opinion. Nobody plays Grey Knights, so it's hard to say if anyone's out there really running them. I could probably look online, check out some lists. It's a Grandmaster that has Dread Fists, so you just upgrade it. That's what you just do. Its Dread Fist can be replaced with either a Great Hammer or a Great Sword, and then it can be equipped with up to 2 of the following, and it can't take duplicates, so Gatling Silencer, Heavy Incinerator, and the Heavy Psy Cannon. It is a vehicle, it's a character, it's a walker, it's from the Imperium, and it's a Psyker. Next, you have Crow. Crow is like the best character in this codex. He moves 6, he's toughness 4, 2-up save, 5 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 1, but he has Purifying Flame. It's anti-infantry 2+, so it wounds all infantry on 2s, it ignores cover, so it's basically AP 1, and it's psychic. 18-inch range, 3 attacks, hits on 2s, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. Got a Stormbolter, no one cares, and then the Black Blade of Antwar. This has devastating wounds and precision. Same exact profile that I said before. 5 attacks, hits on 2s. It is strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. He has Deep Strike and Leader, Teleport Assault, and then Champion of the Order of Purifiers. This is psychic. While this model is leading a unit, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of that unit's Purifying Flame. So that's pretty good. So he has 4 shots with the Purifying Flame. Everybody else gets 2. So it's 24 shots with Purifying Flame, like a ton of shots with Stormbolters, and then a bunch of other heavy weapons, like Flamers, basically. So this unit just puts out a ton of fucking guns, and they have some pretty decent combat as well. We'll get to the Purifiers, but he's really, really good. His other ability is Foresight of the Prognosticars. It's psychic. Once per turn, the first time a saving throw is failed for this model, change the damage characteristic of that attack to 0. The thing I hate about these types of abilities is that they only come into effect when the character itself is getting targeted, which is either by a precision weapon, which basically nobody runs, or if the unit's destroyed, in which case, like, he's gonna die anyway. So, whatever. 4 pinball. Infantry character, Epic Hero, Psyker Imperium. He has no warrior options. He does have Purifying Flame, a Stormbolter, and his Black Blade of Antwer. He can lead Purifiers. So he's pretty good. He's like 80 points or some nonsense. He's really good. Brother Captain Stern. At least right now he's 80 points. We're not discussing points in this. We're not going to discuss points in any of our index reviews, except for maybe like the Forge World ones. And that's because the points tend to change pretty regularly. And so if somebody new is watching this, they're not going to understand that the points might actually be different now. And so they'll be linked in the description. Just check out the points if you want to see them now. The most recent ones should be down there, unless I forgot to update it, in which case it'll still be there because it's the same website. We got Brother Captain Stern. He moves 5, he's toughness 5, he's got a 2-up save and 6 wounds, leadership 6 and OC of 1. He's got a Storm Bolter, it bolts in the storm. He's got a Nemesis Force Sword, strength 5, or attacks 5, hits on 2s. It's the same profile as always, so strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. Deep Strike, Leader, Teleport Assault, Exemplar of the Silvered Host. While he's leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, on a critical wound, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. Wait a second, what? While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack on a critical wound, so on a 6 to wound, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's real good. The first time this model is destroyed, set him back up on a 2-up. Yeah, that's basically with full wounds. So I'll actually read it. The first time this model is destroyed, roll d6 at the end of the phase. On a 2+, set this model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of any enemy units with its full wounds remaining. These are all the same. They're all the fucking same. That's all I'm going to say about those. He has a Stormbolter and his Force Sword. He's an epic hero. He can lead Terminators or Paladins in no war gear. He is infantry, character, epic hero, psyker, Imperium, and a Terminator. He's an interesting choice. I don't know how many points he is right now, but he's an interesting choice. Brother Captain. This moves 5. He's toughness 5, 2-up save, 6 wounds instead of 7, like the Grandmaster. Leadership 6 and OC of 1, so a little bit less wounds there. He also can take an Incinerator, a Silencer, or a Psy Cannon. And so the Incinerator is ignores cover and torrent, d6 shots at 12 inches, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. The Silencer is psychic and sustained hits 1, so exploding 6s. 24 inches with 6 shots, hitting on 2s, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. The Psy Cannon is psychic, 24 inch range with 3 shots, hitting on 2s, strength 8, AP 1, damage 2, and then a Stormbolter, hitting on 2s. Nemesis Force Weapon, 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. In combat, he has Deep Strike and Leader and Teleport Assault. Then he has Empiric Amplification, Psychic. While this model is leading a unit, psychic weapons equipped by models in the unit have sustained hits 1. So you can get Psy Cannons with sustained hits 1, which is interesting, I guess. And then Focused Mind, each time this model makes an attack with a psychic weapon, you can re-roll the wound roll. So he re-rolls wounds with his probably Psy Cannon and Nemesis Force Weapon, so not bad. He has a Stormbolter and a Force Weapon. He just replaces it with a Psy Cannon, probably. He can be attached to Brotherhood Terminators or Paladins. He's infantry, character, psyker, Terminator, Imperium. The reason I said that, in case you're not watching and you're just listening, he can replace a Stormbolter with either the Incinerator, Silencer, or Psy Cannon, and you're always going to take the Psy Cannon. Alright, Brotherhood Champion. I don't think anyone even knows what this guy does. He moves 6, he's toughness 4 with a 2-up and a 4-up invuln, 4 wounds, leadership 6, OC 1. He's got a Bolter of the Storm, hits on 2s. He's got a Nemesis Force Weapon. This one actually has precision, but is otherwise the same exact profile. 5 attacks with it, hitting on 2s. Deep Strikes, fights first, Leader, Teleport Assault, Ethereal Castigation. He gives fights first to the unit that he is leading. And then Martial Fury, each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a character, you can reroll the hit and you can reroll the wound, so he might actually kill a character. So pretty cool. That's him. He is a Stormbolter and a Force Sword. He can't take any options, and he can be attached to Purgation Squads or Strike Squads. So very basic leader here. Infantry character, Psyker, Imperium. A better basic leader, though, is the Librarian. Probably the best unit in the Codex, or at least one of them. Moves 5, toughness 5 with a 2-up save and 5 wounds. Leadership 6 and OC 1. He can take a combi weapon. This is anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, and rapid fire 1. 24 inch range, 1 shot. Hits on 4s, oddly. All the combi weapons are -1 to hit, like they have a worse ballistic skill. So it hits on 4s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And then you have Purge Soul. That's Witch Fire, so it's your psychic. It's got 2 different profiles. It's either strength 6, AP 2, and damage 3, or strength 6, AP 2, and damage 3. So the difference there is that it gains precision and hazardous. If you really, really want to try to snipe out a character that probably has more than 3 wounds, then you can do the thing. Stormbolter, hitting on 3s. So, yeah, Nemesis Force Weapon, 4 attacks in combat, hitting on 2s. Only AP 1. That's a typo. Deep Strikes, Leader, Teleport Assault, Sanctic Hood. While this model is leading a unit, models in that unit have Feel No Pain 4+ against psychic attacks. That's different than Mortal Wounds, so that's pretty good. It's not pretty good. It's actually fucking garbage, but it's better than Mortal Wound. No, I don't know. Whatever. He has Vortex of Doom. This is the good ability that makes him the reason why he's the best thing in the Codex, or one of them. In your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches and invisible to the Psyker and roll a d6. On a 1, the Psyker's unit suffers d6 mortal wounds, but on a 2 to 5, that enemy unit suffers 2d3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, it suffers 2d6 mortal wounds. So this guy can be in combat, he can fall back, he can do actions, he can just do all the things and then be like, yo, Vortex of Doom, what's up? He will just kill stuff. He's very, very good, but the problem is when you roll that 1, it really, really hurts. Does d6 mortal wounds to his own unit, which is a Terminator squad or a Paladin squad. So, moral of the story here is that you take him and you put him with Terminators because his effectively insanely hazardous role that he's taking to do his psychic power kills a bunch of guys, and then you can actually try bringing them back to life with the apothecary that's in the squad of Terminators. So that's why you take him in Terminators, in my opinion. He has Purge Soul and a Nemesis Force weapon. He can be equipped with one of the following, either a combi weapon or a Storm Bolter. He attaches to Paladins or Brotherhood Terminators. He's infantry character, Terminator, Psyker, Imperium. Alright, Mr. Tech Marine, they still got him around. They still need to repair their vehicles, I guess, right? So he moves 5, toughness 4, 2 up save, 4 wounds, leadership 6, and OC of 1. Why does he move 5? He should move 6. He's got a bolt pistol. It's 1 shot at 12 inches. Hits on 3, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. He's got a bolt gun, 24 inch range, 2 shots hitting on 3, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. And then a flamer. Ignores cover, torrent, 12 inch range, D6 shots, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. For melee, he has the Omniscient Power Axe. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s with all of his melee weapons, which, interestingly, the plasma thing's a melee weapon. So his Power Axe is strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage. Of course it is. The Plasma Cutter. 2 attacks at strength 7, AP 2, and 1 damage. It becomes hazardous. It's a combat weapon. 2 attacks, strength 8, AP 3, 2 damage. Cool. And then Servo Arms. Got 2 extra attacks. Strength 8, AP 2, 3 damage. This guy slaps, dude. What? He's got 4 attacks. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks. He just slaps you. He slaps you in combat. What the hell? This guy's like better than... What the fuck? He's like better than a Grandmaster. He's like flat 3 damage attacks. He's got AP 3 attacks with hazardous. It sucks, but... Alright, enough of that. He has Deep Strike and Leader. He can just teleport in and just slap you. Teleport Assault. He can awaken the Machine Spirit. In your shooting phase, command phase, you can select one friendly Grey Knight's vehicle within 6 until the start of your next command phase. Each time that vehicle makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Omniscience Blessing. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Grey Knight's vehicle within 3 inches of this model. That vehicle regains D3 lost wounds, and then while he's within 3 inches of one or more friendly Grey Knight's vehicles, unless he's leading a unit, he has the Lone Operative's ability, so can't target him. Bolt Gun can be replaced with a Bolt Pistol. He's got a Bolter, a Flamer, a Plasma Cutter, Omniscient Power Axe, and Servo Arms, and he can be attached to Strike Squads and Servitors. I want to take one of these guys just because he's hilarious. He's probably like 50 points, or something nuts like that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna make this Dread Knight actually worth taking and make it hit on fucking 2s. He's an infantry character, Psyker Imperium. Brotherhood Chaplain. He is a move of 5, a toughness of 5, a 2 up save, wounds 5, leadership 5, OC 1, 4 up invuln. All Terminator stuff has a 4 up invuln. He's got a Storm Bolter hitting on 3s. He's got a Crozius Arcanum hitting on 2s with 5 attacks. He has Deep Strike and Leader. He has Teleport Assault. He has Words of Power. This is a psychic ability. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll. That's pretty good, especially because this army is like super duper underpowered. Dread Bearing. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit takes a Battle Shock test or Leadership test, you subtract 1 from the test. Okay. He has a Storm Bolter and his Crozius. He can be attached to Terminators and Paladins, like every other character we've seen so far, practically. Not all of them, but most of them. He's got no war gear. He's just an infantry character, Psyker, Terminator, Imperium. Alright, so, now we're on to some actual, data sheets that aren't characters. Brotherhood Terminator Squad. Moves 5, toughness 5, 2 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 6, OC 2. They can take incinerators, silencers, and psi cannons. Those are going to hit on 3s where applicable. And then Storm Bolters, which will also hit on 3s. For combat, they have Nemesis Force Weapons, again, so 4 attacks hitting on 3s at their Strength 6 AP2, 2 damage profile. They have Deep Strikes, they have Teleport Assault, and then they have Hammer Hand. Each time a model in this unit ends a charge move until the end of the turn, melee weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits. They have some War Gear options, and I do believe you take both. So you have the Banner, add one to the objective control characteristic of models in the Bearer's unit, and you have the Narcathium. In your command phase, you can return one destroyed model, excluding characters, to the Bearer's unit. So, pretty good. You take them in units of 5 to 10. They all have Storm Bolters and Force Weapons. For every 5 dudes in the unit, one Terminator Storm Bolter can be an Incinerator, a Silencer, or a Psy Cannon. And then the Brotherhood Terminator equipped with a Storm Bolter can be equipped with a Banner. Alright, so one guy that doesn't have a Silencer or a Psy Cannon or whatever can have a Banner. Another one can replace a Storm Bolter with a Narcathium. You just can't put them on the same model, but you can have them in the same unit. Infantry Battle Line Psychers, Terminator, Grenades, yay, Imperium. Then you got your Strike Squads. These are your basic battle line guys. They move 6, they're toughness 4, they have a 2-up save, nicely. 2 wounds, leadership 6, and OC of 2. That 2-up save is actually huge. It makes them a lot more durable than you'd think, because AP's been reduced a lot in this edition. So them being in cover, you know, having a 1-up save, AP2 stuff puts them back to a 3-up. A lot of stuff's AP1. Yeah, pretty good. So Incinerator, Silencer, Psy Cannon, Storm Bolter, all that shit hits on 3s. For combat, they actually have a close combat weapon that you can be equipped with, which is 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. It's Strength 4, AP 0, and Damage 1. Your fist is as powerful as a bolter shot, which it always has been. Otherwise, you get your Nemesis Force Weapon, 3 attacks hitting on 3s at your Force Weapon profile. Deep Strike, Scout 6 inches. That's a key ability there. Scout 6 inches. And Deep Strike, just good. Teleport Assault. Sanctifying Ritual. If you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase, and this unit is within range of that objective marker, it remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it until your opponent controls it. So they get sticky objectives, which is awesome. So this is a really good unit. You take them in units of 5 to 10, kind of like you'd expect. They can take, well, they don't take them. They just get Storm Bolters and Force Weapons. What they can take, though, is for every 5 dudes in the unit, you can replace your Storm Bolter and your Force Weapon with either an Incinerator, Silencer, or Psy Cannon, and then you just get a close combat weapon in addition. They are Infantry Battle Line Psyker Grenade Imperium Strikes. Okay, so Paladin. So these are your Terminators that are better? Quote unquote? They move 5, they're toughness 5, they have a 2-up save, and they only have 3 wounds, though. They should have 4. They got a leadership of 6 and OC of 1. They also have Incinerators, Silencers, Psy Cannons, and Storm Bolters. The difference with these guys is that they hit on 2s. Nemesis Force Weapons in combat, 4 attacks, but hitting on 2s. Then you got Deep Strike, then you got Teleport Assault, and then you have Inner Fortitude. Each time an attack targets this unit, if the strength is higher than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Pretty good. And then Ancient Banner, you add 1 to the objective control of the bearers in the unit, so they're only OC1 normally, so they become OC2. Now, for every 5 models in the unit, 2 Paladins can have their Storm Bolters replaced with, so if you didn't get it, Storm Bolters and Force Weapons are what they come with. For every 5 dudes in the unit, 2 dudes can have their Storm Bolters replaced with an Incinerator, Silencer, or Psy Cannon. The Paladin he can take stuff. So the Paladin equipped with a Storm Bolter and Nemesis Force Weapon can be equipped with 1 Ancient Banner. That model's Storm Bolter can also be replaced with the Incinerator, the Silencer, or the Psy Cannon. So this is awesome. Very good. Just a very expensive unit. It's, over 400 points. They're good, but they're 400 points. Infantry, Psyker, Terminator Grenade, Imperium. Purifier. So these are some awesome guys as well. These dudes move 6 with toughness 4 and 2-up save and 2 wounds, leadership 6 and OC 1, so the same profile as the Strike Squads. These guys can also take Incinerators, Silencers, and Psy Cannons. They have their special Purifying Flame, though. This is Anti-Infantry 2+, and ignores cover. So, pretty good. Wounds all infantry on 2s, it's Strength 4, AP 1, Damage 1. It's an 18-inch range and just 1 shot, but when you put Crow with them, it becomes 2 shots. And just that volume of fire, it'll just careen through things. It'll just cut right through a bunch of infantry. These guys can take 4 heavy weapons, so generally the way that these are played is you're going to take 4 flamers. You're going to put Crow in the unit. They're going to be shooting 24 purifying flames out of this unit. hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, ignoring cover, and AP 1 already. So even against Marines, they're just getting 4-up saves, and you wounded them with like 16 shots. That's going to kill 4 of them. Then you have 24 Storm Bolter shots, and then you have 4d6 Strength 6 AP 1 Damage 1 Flamer shots that are auto-hitting out of this one squad. And then they have combat. They have 6 guys that have Nemesis Force weapons, so 3 attacks hitting on 3s with those as Strength 6 AP 2 damage. So just a ton of output from this unit, and this is what they do. They have Sanctity of Purpose. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if this unit is below starting strength. One guy dies, +1 to hit. And add 1 to the wound roll as well if this unit is below half strength. So if you have a crow in the unit, and you kill all of your flamer guys, plus some other guy, that's now half dead. In combat, you're +1, you're hitting on 2s, wounding on +1 to wound all the time. So the force weapons actually become good. You could do the same thing in reverse. You could take a bunch of side cannons and kill 5 of the other guys and have +1 to wound side cannons, which you would never do. +1 to wound flamers, maybe, that's okay. But +1 to wound combat, oh yeah. So, great unit. I basically just described what they do already, but you take them in units of 5 to 10. They come with Purifying Flame, a Stormbolter, and their combat. For every 5 models in the unit, 2 Purifiers can have their Stormbolter and Nemesis Force weapon replaced with one of the following. So like I just said, Incinerator, Silencer, Side Cannon, and the regular close combat weapon. That's 3 attacks at Strength 4, AP 0, Damage 1. Same as the other guys. So Purifiers, awesome. I have to talk about Servitors, I guess. They move 6, they're Toughness 4, they have a 4-up save, 1 wound, Leadership 8, OC 1. They have a 6-up invuln. They can take Heavy Bolters, that's heavy, and Sustained hits 1, so +1 to hit if you stay still. 6s explode. 36-inch range, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s normally. Strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. That's surprising that they hit on 4s. All their shooting hits on 4s. Multi-Melta, heavy, Melta 2. So +2 damage within half range. Range is 18, so within 9 you're +2 damage. 2 shots hitting on 4s. Strength 9, AP 4, damage D6. Got Plasma Cannon. It's either standard or overcharged. You got Strength 7, AP 2, damage 1. Strength 8, AP 3, damage 2. Those are your 2 different profiles. It's 36-inch range and D3 shots with blast and heavy. No matter what you do to it, it just becomes hazardous if you overcharge it and get that higher strength and AP and damage. In combat, they hit on 5s. They either have a Servitor, Servo Arm, it's 1 attack, Strength 6, AP 2, and damage 3, or they have their Servitor Tools, that's 1 attack, hitting on 5, Strength 3, AP 0, damage 1. They do have Mind Lock. While a Brotherhood Tech Marine model is leading the unit, improve the ballistic skill and weapon skill characteristic of ranged and melee weapons equipped by the Servitors by 1. While the Brotherhood Tech Marine is leading the unit, models in that unit have Deep Strike and Teleport Assault. Okay. You take them in units of 4, they come with servo arms. 2 of them can replace their servo arms with either the Heavy Bolter, Multi-Melta, or Plasma Cannon, and they also get their Servitor tools instead. So this is what they do. At the start of the Declare Battle Formation step, they can join another unit that's led by a Tech Marine, basically. They can join it to it like it's a character. So that's what they do. They have Infantry, Imperium, and Servitor, and if you read this carefully, they just become part of the Bodyguard unit. So, interesting. You got the Venerable Dreadnought. Move 6, Toughness 9, 2-up save, 8 wounds, Leadership 6, OC of 3. It's got an Assault Cannon that it comes with, I believe, which is devastating wounds at 24-inch range, 6 attacks, Ballistic Skill 3, Strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. You're kind of just wishing for those dev wounds. Heavy Flamer, it's Torrent, ignores cover, it's worse than an Incinerator. 12-inch range, D6 shots, Strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. So, Heavy Plasma Cannon, we just talked about him. This one's going to hit on 3s. It's either Strength 7, AP 2, damage 2. Okay, so I lied. But it is either Strength 7, AP 2, and damage 2, or it's Strength 8, AP 3, and damage 3. Hits on 3s. Everything's hitting on 3s except for one thing. It's D3 shots either way, whether you overcharge it or not. It's got a 36-inch range whether or not you overcharge it, and then it's just blast. It's a blast weapon. The Missile Launcher. 2 profiles, either a frag or a crack. Frag is blast. They both shoot 48. The frag is D6 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. The crack is 1 shot, strength 9, AP 2, damage D6. And then Multi-Melta, Melta 2, we just talked about this as well. 18-inch range with 2 shots. Strength 9, AP 4, damage D6. Storm Bolter, we've seen that a million times. Twin Las Cannon, this is a rerollable Las Cannon. Reroll to wounds Las Cannon. 48-inch range with one shot. Strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 plus 1. So, not a bad weapon there. Just one shot sucks. It's got armored feet. They are 5 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. Or it's got a Dreadnought close combat weapon. That's 5 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 12, AP 2, damage 3. It's got Deadly Demise 1, and then Wisdom of the Ancient, which is an aura. While a friendly Grey Knight infantry unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1, and reroll a wound roll of 1. I'm tempted to take one of these in my army just to get that. Like, literally. That's awesome, because most of the army is infantry-based anyway. So, that might be worth taking if it's not like 200 points for one of these things. This model's assault cannon can be replaced with one of the following. Yeah, so it comes with an assault cannon, a storm bolter, and a dreadnought close combat weapon. Its assault cannon can be a heavy plasma cannon, a multi-melta, or a las cannon. This model's storm bolter and dreadnought close combat weapon can be replaced with one of the following. One missile launcher, one armored feet, one heavy flamer, one dreadnought close combat weapon. Okay. It's a vehicle walker psyker smoke Imperium. It is a psyker. Just doesn't have deep strike, I don't think. It does not have teleport assault. So, Inceptors. These guys are awesome. They just are super duper good. They move 12, they're toughness 4, they have a 2-up save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, and OC of 1. Look out for these guys in our Grey Knights Tactica review. They will most certainly be in there, because these are also one of the best units in the index just for what they do. So their profile is pretty good, you know, for what it is. They also can get the Incinerator, Silencer, or Psy Cannon, hitting on 3s with all of their weapons. They also have a Stormbolter stock. Their melee weapons, either that combat weapon if you're wielding those big heavy weapons. Otherwise, if you've got your Stormbolter, you're rocking your Nemesis Force weapon with 3 attacks hitting on 3s, as you'd expect. They deep strike, they're teleport assaulting, and then they have personal teleporters. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if it's not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can make a normal move up to 6 inches as if it were your movement phase. If it does, until the end of the turn, it's not eligible to declare charge. So it can move, shoot, move. Yes. I don't even need to say why that's good. You all know why that's good. That's just always good. It will always be good in every edition that it's printed in. So move, shoot, move, take 3 units of these things. They're awesome. Maybe not. Maybe take like 2. But for every 5 models in the unit, one Inceptor, Stormbolter, and Nemesis Force weapon can be replaced with one of those heavy weapons, so the Incinerator, Silencer, or the Psy Cannon. They come with a Stormbolter and a Force weapon. Otherwise, they're just chilling. Units of 5 or 10. They're Infantry, Psyker, Fly, Grenades, Imperium. I love seeing the Grenades keyword now, because that stratagem really throws people off. We got the Purgation Squad. These are your Devastators. They move 6, they're toughness 4 with a 2-up save, 2 wounds, and leadership 6 and OC 1, so the same basic Marine profile for this army. They also have the same 3 heavy weapons, Incinerator, Silencer, Psy Cannon, and a Stormbolter. Combat's the same as well. If they have a heavy weapon, they're just rocking that close combat weapon at 3 attacks, weapon skill 3 at strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. Otherwise, they have their Nemesis Force weapon, 3 attacks with weapon skill 3, at that strength 6, AP 2, damage 2 profile as always. So they have deep strike and teleport assault, astral aim, and psychic. In your shooting phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in this unit have indirect fire, provided the target of that weapon is visible to one or more other friendly Grey Knights units. So that's kind of poop. Maybe deep strike them down behind a wall with flamers and just flame something? I don't know. Because if you're giving indirect fire, you just got to think about this for a second. They get indirect fire on these weapons, meaning that they're going to ballistic skill 4, because they're going to be -1 to hit, and you're giving them cover. So your AP 1 becomes AP 0 here, and this kills nothing. So you have 12 shots, 6 of them hit, 4 of them wound. They, like, you kill 1 Marine. Like, it's just garbage, dude. Like, you just take flamers or something. I don't even know. Maybe just don't run these guys at all. So they come in units of 5 to 10. They come with a Storm Bolter and a Force weapon. Up to 4 Purgators can have their Stormbolter and a Nemesis Force weapon replaced with one of the following: Incinerator combat weapon, Silencer combat weapon, Psy Cannon combat weapon, Infantry Psyker Grenade Imperium. Alright, so we got the Baby Carrier, the actual Nemesis Dread Knight that's not a Grandmaster. Exact same profile as the Grandmaster, I think. Moves 8, toughness 8, 2-up save, and 13 wounds. leadership 6 and OC 4. They also can take those Gatling silencers. They take the heavy version of the heavy weapons. So, Gatling silencer, heavy and sustained 1, 24 inches and 12 shots. BS3, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. Heavy incinerator, that's ignores cover and torrent. It's 18-inch range, so it's got a decent range. 2d6 shots, strength 6, AP 1, and damage 1. And then the heavy psi cannon, that's going to be 24-inch range, 6 shots, hitting on 3s. Strength 10, AP 1, damage 3. Combat, you got Dread Fists. Let's just move to the hammer. The hammer is 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 14, AP 3, damage D6 plus 1. And then Nemesis Great Sword in combat. That's 2 different profiles. It's either 5 attacks at strength 10, AP 2, and damage D6, hitting on 3s, thankfully. Or it's 10 attacks, also hitting on 3s, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. But the strength 10, AP 2 seems to be the better one. I don't know which one does more. I really don't. I'd have to math that out. So that'll be in the Tactica video, so check it out. This thing has Deadly Demise D3 and Deep Strike, Teleport Assault. Empiric Reprisal is its psychic ability. This model is eligible to shoot and declare charge in a turn in which it fell back. So that's pretty good. It's moving of 8, it's advancing, it's shooting, it's charging, it's doing all this stuff. Oh my god, it doesn't get assault when it does that. Right? Like, your army ability doesn't give you assault, I'm pretty sure. Or, yeah. Alright. So, it's equipped with Dread Fists. Its Dread Fists can be replaced by a hammer or a great sword, and then it can be equipped with 2 of the following, but no duplicates. Silencer, Psi Cannon, Incinerator. Grey Knight Land Raider. It's the same. Oh, so this guy's a Vehicle Walker, Psyker, Imperium. The Land Raider. It is the same as the Space Marine Land Raider. Moves 10, toughness 12 with a 2-up save, 16 wounds, leadership 6, and OC of 5. Godhammer Las Cannon, that's a 48-inch range with 2 shots, BS 3. Strength 12, AP 3, and damage D6 plus 1. Can take a Hunter Killer Missile, it's 1 shot, 48-inch range, hits on 2s. Strength 14, AP 3, and damage D6. That's actually something I think I forgot to mention for the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought Stormbolter was hit on 2s for some reason, when all of its other guns were hitting on 3s. Yeah, so, Hunter Killer Missile. Strength 14, AP 3, D6 damage. 1 shot at 48 inches, hitting on 2s, once per battle. Multi-Melta, we've seen that enough times. Stormbolter we know. And then the Twin Heavy Bolter we have not seen. That's Sustained Hits 1 and Twin Linked. Yes, we have, actually. 36-inch range, 3 shots, BS 3, Strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. Then for combat, it's got some armored stuff no one really cares about. Deadly Demise D6, the thing that matters is that it's Strength 8, so figure that out for tank shocking. Deadly Demise D6, Assault Ramp each time a unit disembarks from this model after it has made a normal move. You're still eligible to declare a charge that turn, so these things are awesome because of that. They drive the field, pop guys out, charge you, you lose. Not exactly, but that's the idea. Alright, so the Land Raider is equipped with the 2 Godhammer Las Cannon, so 4 Las Cannon shots, a Twin Heavy Bolter, and Armor Tracks. It takes a Hunter Killer Missile, it takes a Multi-Melta, it takes a Storm Bolter, it can transport 12 boys. Each Terminator takes up the space of 2 boys. It's a Vehicle Transport Smoke Imperium. You got the Crusader. This thing is the same exact profile, except that it moves 12 instead of 10, so it's a little bit faster. It can also take a Hunter Killer Missile for that single Strength 14, AP 3, damage D6 shot once a game, hits on 2s. It can take a Hurricane Bolter, or it just has them. These are Rapid Fire 6 and Twin Linked, so they reroll wounds. 24-inch range, 6 shots with bolters, hitting on 3s, so Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. So 12 shots, it's going to have 2 of them. 24 shots at 12 inches, rerolling wounds. It's okay against infantry. Multi-Melta, Melta 2, 18-inch range, yeah. Strength on AP, 4, D6 damage, 2 shots, Melta 2, yeah. A Storm Bolter, yep. Twin Assault Cannon, so this is Devastating Wounds and Twin Linked, 24-inch range with 6 attacks. Strength 6, AP 0, damage 1, so you're just fishing for dev wounds. Hitting on 3s. All of its guns are hitting on 3s except for that Hunter Killer. Has Deadly Demise D6 and that same Assault Ramp ability, so you can disembark and still charge from it even if it moved. And then if it's damaged, you have 1 to 5 wounds remaining. It's -1 to hit. And so was the other Land Raider. I think I missed that. Indeed I did. Okay. So that is the Crusader. It's equipped with the 2 Hurricane Bolters, a Twin Assault Cannon, and Armored Tracks. It takes a Hunter Killer, Multi-Melta, and a Storm Bolter. It has a transport capacity of 16 infantry, and each Terminator model takes up the space of 2. It's a Vehicle Transport Smoke Grenade Imperium. Land Raider Grey Knights Redeemer thing. Grey Knights Land Raider Redeemer. So it also moves 12 and is toughness 12 with a 2-up save, 16 wounds, and leadership 6 and OC of 5. It has Flame Storm Cannons. They are Ignores Cover and Torrent. 12-inch range, D6 plus 3 shots at strength 6, AP 2, and damage 2. They got a Hunter Killer Missile, same exact thing. Multi-Melta, same exact thing. And Storm Bolter, same exact thing. Twin Assault Cannon, that's the twin-linked Assault Cannon. So strength 6, AP 0, damage 1, 6 shots, 24-inch range. Armored Tracks, whatever. Deadly Demise D6 and Assault Ramp. So it's the same thing, it's just got different side guns, which this one's the best. The Flamestorm Cannons are insane. Ignores Cover, Torrent, 12-inch range, D6 plus 3 shots at strength 6, AP 2, and damage 2. Like, it has 2 of those. Alright, so that's what this thing does. It's pretty merciless. It can transport 14 infantry. Terminators take up the space of 2. It's got 2 Flamestorm Cannons, Twin Assault Cannon, and Armored Tracks. It takes a Hunter Killer, a Multi-Melta, and a Storm Bolter. Grey Knights Rhino. It moves 12, its toughness 9, and it's got a 3-up save, and it's got 10 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 2. It's got a Hunter Killer Missile, which also hits on 2s. Hell yeah. Armored Tracks. It's got 6 strength, 3 attacks at strength 6. Woo! Deadly Demise D3 and Firing Deck 2. It repairs itself for 1 lost wound at the start of your command phase. That's its ability. It has a Storm Bolter. It has Armored Tracks. It has a transport capacity of 12 infantry. It cannot transport Terminators. It can be equipped with a Hunter Killer Missile and a Storm Bolter. It's a Vehicle Transport, Dedicated Transport Smoke. Grey Knight's Razorback, so also moves 12, toughness 9, 3-up save, 10 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 2. Very boring little transport here. Hunter Killer Missile, Storm Bolter, Twin Assault Cannon, Twin Heavy Bolter, Twin Las Cannon. We all know those things, I hope. Deadly Demise D3 and Fire Support. In your shooting phase, after this model shot, select one enemy unit. It scored 1 or more hits against this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly model that disembarks from the transport makes an attack that targets that unit, reroll the wound roll. So this thing shoots something. If the guys that got out also shoot the same thing, they reroll wounds. That's what it does. It's got a Twin Heavy Bolter and Armored Tracks, can transport 6 guys but not Terminators. It can take a Hunter Killer, it can take a Storm Bolter, it can replace its Heavy Bolter with an Assault Cannon or a Twin Las Cannon. So Twin Assault Cannon or Twin Las Cannon. It's a Vehicle Transport, Dedicated Transport Smoke Imperium. I guess Grey Knights have more units than I thought. Grey Knight's Stormhawk Interceptor. 20-inch move, toughness 9, 3-up save and 10 wounds, leadership 6 and OC 0. Icarus Storm Cannon. It's anti-fly 2+, 48-inch range, 6 attacks. BS3 on all of its guns. The Storm Cannon is strength 7, AP 1, and damage 2, but it's wounding flying stuff on 2s, not just flyers, like anything that flies. Las Talon, 24-inch range, 2 shots, strength 10, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage. Great. Skyhammer Missile Launcher, also anti-fly 2+, 3 shots, strength 8, AP 1, damage D3. Twin Assault Cannon, we know that one. Twin Heavy Bolter, and then Typhoon Missile Launcher. 2 different profiles, blast, fraggy, crack, blast thing. It's either frag or crack. Frag has blast. They both shoot 48. The frag is 2d6 attacks, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. The crack is 2 attacks at strength 9, AP 2, and damage d6. Alright, it's got an armored hull that we don't care about. It's got Deadly Demise and Hover, so Deadly Demise D3 and Hover. It's an interceptor. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets a unit that can fly, you add 1 to the hit roll. Damn. So this is a very anti-flying vehicle. Cool. Very anti-fly. So the Stormhawk Interceptor, it has Las Talon, Skyhammer Missile, and a Twin Assault Cannon. Its Las Talon can be an Icarus Storm Cannon. It's an interesting choice. Maybe. Its Skyhammer Missile Launcher can be either a Twin Heavy Bolter or a Typhoon Missile Launcher. Interesting choices. Okay, so you have the Storm Talon gunship next. I hate the way this thing looks. It would never fly right. I don't like it. It moves 20 inches. It's toughness 8. It's got a 3-up save and 10 wounds with leadership 6 and OC 0. So for ranged weapons, it's got Skyhammer Missile Launcher again. That's going to be anti-fly 2+. It's got a 48-inch range with 3 shots, strength 8, AP 1, damage D3. All of its guns hit on 3s, like everything else. Twin assault cannon, twin heavy bolter, twin las cannon, and then Typhoon missile launcher. That's the thing we just saw on the other one. That is either frag or crack. The frag is blast and is 2d6 shots at 48 inches, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. The crack is also 48 inches with just 2 shots at strength 9, AP 2, and damage D6. Armored hull, whatever. Deadly demise D3 and hover, and then strafing run. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets a unit that cannot fly, you add 1 to the hit rolls. This is on the ground stuff. This is the ground shooter. It has a Skyhammer missile launcher, twin assault cannon, and armored hull. Its Skyhammer missile launcher can be replaced with a twin heavy bolter, twin las cannon, or a Typhoon missile launcher. It's a vehicle aircraft fly Imperium. The Storm Raven gunship moves 20, is toughness 10 with a 3-up save, 14 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 0. It can take hurricane bolters on the side. That's the rapid fire 6 twin linked bolter thing. So 24-inch range with 6 attacks, strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. So 12 attacks at 12 inches. Thing moves 20 inches or more. Moves more than 20 inches, pretty much. So it's always going to be within 12 if it needs to, and it'll just blow things up. Storm Strike missile launchers. These are like its under wings, I think. 1 shot apiece. It's got 48-inch range at strength 10, AP 3, and damage D6 plus 2. Nice. All of its guns hit on 3s. Twin assault cannon, twin linked assault cannon, dev wounds, 6 shots, 24-inch range, strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. Twin heavy bolter, sustained at 1 twin linked, 36-inch range, 3 shots, strength 5, AP 1, damage 2. Heavy plasma cannon, strength 7, AP 2, damage 2 with 3 shots. What the heck? Is that a typo? Alright, so it's 3 shots instead of D3 shots. Yeah. Strength 7, AP 2, and damage 2. Or it's strength 8, AP 3, and damage 3. If you overcharge it, same range, and still twin linked, just becomes hazardous. Twin las cannon, strength 12, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage, 48-inch range, 1 shot, that's twin linked. Twin multi-melta. Melta 2, rerolling wounds with twin linked at 18-inch range, 2 shots, strength 9, AP 4, D6 damage. Typhoon missile launcher, same thing as the last 2 profiles, so 2 shots with strength 9, AP 2, and D6 damage. Or a blast weapon that is 2d6 shots at strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Both are at 48-inch range for that. Armored hull, it is strength 8. Deadly demise D6 and hover, and then armored resilience. Each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. If it has 1 to 5 wounds remaining, it's -1 to hit, like the Land Raiders and stuff. It comes with the 2 Storm Strike missile launchers, a twin assault cannon, Typhoon missile launcher, and armored hull. It can transport 12 Grey Knight infantry models and 1 Grey Knight's Venerable Dreadnought, and each Terminator takes up the space of 2. It can be equipped with 2 hurricane bolters, great. Its twin assault cannon can be replaced with a twin heavy plasma cannon or a twin las cannon. I'm taking that heavy plasma cannon every time. Flat 3 shots? Oh yeah. This model's Typhoon missile launcher can be replaced with one of the following. Either a twin heavy bolter or a multi-melta. I don't know. Probably a multi-melta, right? Typhoon missile launcher isn't bad though. Alright, but that's gonna do it. So that is it. This thing is vehicle, aircraft, transport, fly, and Imperium. And that's what you got for the Grey Knights. So, if you made it until the end here, thank you so much for watching. You are the best, and I really mean that. I really do appreciate all you guys that watch until the end here. If you like this video, be sure to teleport into the like button, and then subscribe to Theory Hammer. And be sure to, of course, hit the bell icon so that you're notified every time more of our Imperial propaganda is ready for viewing. And leave a comment down below and tell us what you think of the Grey Knights. Do you love them? Do you hate them? I don't know. They suck. That's my opinion. And I will teleport into the next video with you, because I know you want to watch it. See you there!